In this lesson, we are going to be looking at math random. So math is a built-in JavaScript function, and there's quite a few things that you can do with math. And as you can see, Mozilla Developer Network lists out a bunch of the different methods that are available, as well as the properties that are available within math. And there's quite a lot going on here. The one that we're going to be making use of is math random. And what math random does is it gives us a number from 0 to 1, inclusive of 0 but not 1. So it's going to give us almost 1 but not 1. And that's important to remember, that you're never going to get to 1 within math random, and that's why we use things like math floor and so on, which is going to give us some more options when we are multiplying out those values of math random that are being returned back. And you can see it being run here. So you can go over to the Mozilla Developer Network, always a great resource, and you can try that out. They've got a bunch of code examples, and the one that we're looking at is math random. And we want to actually turn this math random into a number from anywhere from 1 to 6, and I'll show you how to do that. And we can do that by multiplying it by the number that we've got within the role. So let's go back into our application and make use of math random. We have our button that gets clicked, and this is where a roll starts. So we're going to make sure, and we're going to do a quick roll. So setting up, and we'll get both of those roles within an array. So we'll have the first person's roll and the number that we want to use for the roll. So we can have rolling up to 6, or we could even do more. And then I'm going to console log out the roles value. So every time we click the button, we're going to get the value of roles. And there's one thing missing for those of you that are watching, that we need to have a value for roll. It's going to take in a numeric value. So it can be, and in this case, we're rolling anywhere to 6. So we need a random number to return back from 1 to 6. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to set up a number. So we can do it R number for roll number, and we can use math random. So this is going to return back a number, and as we saw, it's going to return back a number that's 0, decimal, and a bunch of digits after that. And that's not what we need, because we need to have an actual value that's being returned back that we can make use of. So if we multiply it by none, so let me return back the R number first. So we see that we get 2 random numbers every time we roll, and we're multiplying it by the value that's being passed in there. So we've got 0, we've got 1. Let's try to roll again. So there's a 2 and a 1.9 and 3.9 and so on. So it doesn't look great. And the way that we can solve that is by applying another math function. So going back into our trusted Mozilla Developer Network, we're going to see math floor. And what math floor is going to do, it's going to return to the largest integer less than or equivalent to the given number. So what that does, when we try that out within the code, if we have 5.95, it's going to bring it down to 5. If we have 5.05, it's still going to be 5. If we have 5, it's going to be still 5. And if we have -6, it's going to be returned back, or a -5.05, where it's going to be rounding it to the floor of the opposite send. So this is where we're going to be coming up with -6. So that's essentially how the math works. So when we apply a math floor, so we're going to wrap our math random with a math floor, and what this is going to really do is going to get rid of all these decimal places. So let's try that out. So we see that we've got 3 to 0, 1 to 2, 5 to 5, 3 to 2, and you're probably thinking, wait a minute, we need a number from 1 to 6. And we've got 0, 1, 2, 3, and we could probably get 4 if we kept pressing that roll. And we've got all the way up to 5, but we're not hitting 6. So the solution to that is really simple. We're just adding 1 to it. And now we're going to get a number from 1 to 6. So we've got 2 5s, 6 and a 2, and a 1 and a 3. And you see that there's no zeros, no 7s. We've got the number that we were looking for. So that's how we can create and initiate that roll. So the next thing that we want to do is apply some logic. We've got the 2 roles. We've got the player's role and the computer's role, and we need to do a comparison of those role values. So all of that is coming in the next lesson. So go ahead and try out Math Floor, as math is one of those things that almost every application you build where you've got some type of game and you want something to happen at random, unexpectedly, you're going to need to use math random.